Hello, you're welcome to the soft skills training section of this fellowship. And as you remember, this is the IG Hub Developers and Netpreneurs Fellowship that you've been on. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to detail to us why the soft skills training section is important for you as you learn all of the amazing skills that you're learning in this fellowship. And then I'll also explain some of the uh, things that we'll be going through, the topics that we'll be going through. Just before we dive in, my name is Ezini Uzoije. And if you joined us from the beginning of this fellowship, you remember seeing me. I am a facilitator in the Netpreneurship track, and I'll also be facilitating the soft skills training with you all. Right. So let's go right deep into why are we doing the soft skills training? Okay. So this IG Hub Developers and Entrepreneurship Fellowship was made possible by PAIN. That is the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta. And we're so grateful to them because they've been able to make this possible, make it possible for you to gain these amazing skills that you're gaining currently all for free. And on this project, it's termed the Niger Delta Youth Employment Pathways Project. One of the aims is that as you finish learning the skills, you are able to actually join an organization and contribute these skills and be able to earn, or you can create an organization that employs you, that employs other people, that helps you earn. So it's a pathway to employment. It's not just about learning it, it's also about you being able to benefit the society with it and then gain some financial reward, gain employment as a result of the skills that you have gained from this training. And so we have realized that as much as people gain hard skills, as much as they understand how to code, as much as they understand how to create websites, mobile apps, etc., they also need to understand how to relate with other people at work, their clients, their prospects, and those are soft skills. Okay, so soft skills are those important and necessary skills that helps you as you go out there in the world to work and interact with other people. So even if you know how to create websites, you have amazing skills, you will need to be able to form relationships. You will need to be able to create trust with your clients. You will need to be able to create dependability so that your employers out there will know that they can trust you with projects, with tasks, and that you can deliver on them. So this soft skills training, we are going to be dealing with about 15 topics, and through them all, we are going to be able to get you to mentally prepare for work out there. And the important thing is that I'm glad that some of us are already beginning to monetize what we're learning. We're already beginning to make good use of what we're learning to earn money, to meet people, to tell them, oh, I'm learning this, I can do this. That is beautiful. This soft skills training, take it as seriously as you've taken your different tracks, as you've taken showing up every day to learn things there. Okay, we're going to be going through 15 topics and they'll be all interesting and amazing. So show up, do not take it for granted. We will also be taking notice of everybody that is showing up for this soft skills training, that is paying attention. Okay, so I hope you've been able to understand what the soft skills training is all about. The soft skills, again, as I said, soft skills are personal attributes that influence how well you work and interact with others. So it's going to be very beneficial for you, whether you're going to be able to go out there and start up your own organization or join an organization. These soft skills will help you to relate with other people. We help you to be able to interact with other people. We help you to be able to form relationships with other people, create trust and dependability, lead teams, be able to actually contribute beneficially. You're going to be able to relate with people. So that's the importance of the soft skills training. Okay, so let me give you a brief rundown of how this training will be delivered, right? So at the beginning of every topic, I mentioned that we'll go through 15 topics. At the beginning of every topic, you will need to take a pre-test. That is a little test that asks you questions, trying to gauge your understanding of that topic before you take that class, before you take that topic. Okay, now it's important that you don't skip that pre-test. Please take it before you start that topic. And after that pre-test, the next thing is the post-test. After you've gone through that topic, after you've taken the class and gone through it, the next thing is a post-test. And the post-test contains the very same questions that you will see in your pre-test. Okay, so it's just to gauge your understanding of that topic after you have gone through that topic, after you have gone through a section on that topic. Now, I want to make something clear. This pre-test and post-test does not mean that you have to go Google your answers, that you have to go ask someone else, oh, please tell me, please help me, I'm trying to take a test. Okay, we are not grading your intelligence with it. We just want to know your understanding of it before and after. It will help all of us here at Innovation Growth Hub at Paint to understand how you were able to gain understanding of a topic, how you were able to see a topic before you actually went through those classes and then after it. So please, there's no point going to Google answers before you take the pre-test. Okay, so please, I want to assure us that this pre-test and post-test is very important for us. But again, you don't need to go copy from the internet, right? And as I mentioned, it's important that you take this importantly. We would have a way of knowing those that took the pre-test and post-test is very, very important. It's mandatory, but we are not using it to grade you. We are using it to ensure that we are delivering on all of these topics, that you understand it. Okay, right. So I believe that by now you've understood all about the soft skills training and so on. So we'll be stepping into our very first topic for today. And that topic is a topic that most of us are already familiar with, as we handled it at the beginning of this fellowship. But we're going to be revisiting it again. And it is on goal setting. So, right before we step right in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and take your pre-test at bit.ly/pregoal. Now, it's important that you understand that this link that you're supposed to take this test at is case sensitive. So, what I mean by case sensitive is that if you type free goal in small letters, it's going to be sending you elsewhere. So, please type it exactly as you see it on your screen. Go to your browser, type it in just like it is right here. Answer those questions. You don't need to Google it, you don't need to Google the answers. We just want to know how you see this topic before you go through this section. And you also need to answer the same questions after it. So just go through it, and that is it. Go through it right now. Please, I'm waiting for you. You can pause this right now, pause it right now, and go and take this pre-test. If you've taken this pre-test, then great. We're going to go right ahead into the topic of the day. So, the content of this goal setting section, we're going to be looking at what a goal is, how to set goals, the types of goals, what is meant by SMART goals, and why goals fail. Because this is important so that you would know how to set better goals so that they don't fail, the guidelines for setting goals, and then how to review the goals that we set. Okay, so basically at the end of this, you'll be able to understand how to set goals for life anywhere you are. That's important. You will need to understand how to set goals wherever you are, whether you are in an office, whether you just started a business, you want to start a business, you'll be able to apply this in various facets of life. Okay, and then you'll be able to identify the reasons why people are unable to achieve goals. When you do that, then that means that most of the goals that you set, you'll be able to achieve them. So after this, we're looking at you being able to set goals and actually meet them, and not setting goals and not missing them. Right. If you have any questions, also put it in the comment section. Have any question, put it in the comment section. Also ask it on Slack. If you ask it on Slack, you'll be getting responses. Okay, so let's go over to the very first. What is a goal? When people keep saying, I have a goal, there's something I want to achieve, there's something I'm trying to achieve, what do they mean? right? So, according to Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, it says that a goal is something that you hope to achieve in the future. That's the simplest definition of it. It's something that you're hoping to achieve in the future. So the thing is that when you set a goal, it means that that's a result that you desire to fulfill. It's something that you are visualizing in your mind. It's something that is important to you to achieve in the future. And most of the time is within a set time frame. So for instance, I'll take your mind back to when you were in secondary school. In secondary school, it was important for you to finish your secondary school education. Okay, so we all know that secondary school is usually 6 years in Nigeria. So as at when you're at SS1, you're saying, "Oh, I'm in my fourth year. I really want to be able to finish secondary school, take my WAEC exams in flying colors within the 6 years." It's a goal for you to be able to finish the secondary school education within 6 years. Finish it. You don't want to go retake exams. You don't want to spend an extra year in an extra class in another class. So that's your goal at that point. I want to be able to finish school by so year that is supposed to be your sixth year in the secondary school. Okay, so there are different goals that you'll be able to set part time. So I'm trying to make you understand that goal is something that you want to achieve, is a desired result that you want to see, and you are seeing it in your mind and you're working towards it. Right, so that is basically what a goal is. So, for most of you here, let me relate it to this fellowship. Your goal at the beginning of this fellowship, if you're in the mobile um, development track, your goal would have been, oh, I want to be able to develop mobile apps all by myself. That was your goal, and that was why you now came into this fellowship to learn. That is what you're working on. So I hope you understand what this definition of a goal is all about. Up next, we're going to be looking at what are the different types of goals. The truth is, there are two major types of goals. There is the long-term goal and the short-term goal. Right? So let's look at what is the difference between the two. So a long-term goal involves the plans that you make for the distant future. Okay, so it could be your family goals. Maybe you are saying the next 10 years, I want to be married with children. That's your family. It's long term. In fact, it's so long term that it's not really something that you know that you can step into tomorrow and achieve it tomorrow. Okay, so it's long term. It can take months. It can take years. Sometimes it's even for a lifetime. You can decide right now. Oh, when I'm 50, I'm going to be contesting for a position in the Nigerian Senate. Is your long term goal? Or you could say, I want to be able to graduate from college, from the university in 2025. Is long term, right? Now, short term goals are those that are to be achieved in the near future. So it's not in the distant future like the long term goals, it's in the near future. Usually, this can be within a year, right? So sometimes these are usually known as enabling goals. And what we mean by that is that they are stepping stones, usually stepping stones to achieving your long-term goals. So let me break this down. When you say that your long-term goal is to be able to graduate from the university in 2025, graduating from the university means that you need to be passing your exams. So while your long-term goal is I want to graduate from this university in 2025, I don't want to exceed it, I don't want to be chased out from the university. Your short-term goals could be right. So throughout this year, I'm not going to have any carryovers. I'm going to be getting nothing less than B's in my semester exams, if possible, or A's. It's something that you're working towards, right? So they are enabling goals. They are stepping stones to help you achieve those long-term goals. All right. So let me also make this clearer. Let's say that your long-term goal in the future, you want to work at an amazing organization like an Innovation Growth Hub, like Google. That's your goal. You want to be able to work there. And you realize, oh, for me to be able to work there, I need to have high in demand skills like digital marketing, like mobile development skills. So as much as you want your long-term goal is to work at Google, you know that you can't just step into work at Google without having some skills. right? And so you decide in the short term, within the next 3 months, I'm going to learn mobile development. I'm going to learn whatever you're learning right now. I'm giving you an example. All right. So that's a short term goal. And as you learn it, you're able to hone it, and then keep working towards working at your dream organization. So you see how, as much as your long term goal is to work at your dream organization, there are still short term goals that you can set to help you achieve those long term goals. Now, this is important for you to understand because several times people set long term goals, they have it in mind to do something in the next 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, and they think it's just by saying it. They think it's just by writing it down, and that is how the goal is fulfilled. No, that's not true. There'll be daily, monthly, yearly efforts for you to meet up to that long-term goal. All right. So I hope this is clear. This is the difference between the two major categories of goals that we have. Right. So now that we've understood what goals are and the types of goals, you will need to revisit what is it about setting goals? How do you set goals? Right? I know most of us here we've set different kind of goals at different points in our lives. I mean, for you to still be in this fellowship right now, you set a strong goal that you're going to be able to see this fellowship through, that you will not abandon it halfway. And hopefully right now you're able to maximize some of the skills that you've learned so far. You're able to see results of that goal that you set to stay true to the end of this fellowship. Okay. So, goal setting is basically you deciding on what you want to achieve and then making a plan on how to achieve it. Okay, so it's a key element in personal development. A lot of people feel like, oh, I want to be rich in the future, and that's it. They just keep saying it with their mouth. They don't know that you will need to set tangible goals. You will need to be very specific on what to do to attain the riches, the wealth that you want. Okay, so it involves developing action plans. It involves you working towards fulfilling whatever desired result that you want. Okay, so usually in goal setting, I know most, as I said, we've already touched this at the beginning of this fellowship. So this is something that most of you are already familiar with. There is an acronym called SMART, that is SMART, that is used to guide goal setting. And each alphabet of this acronym stands for something, right? So S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, T stands for time bound. So let's start with S. S is specific. So you're looking at being specific with what you want. So instead of saying, "Oh, I want to be rich," that's not being specific. How are you going to make the wealth? Okay, so you're specific enough to say, okay, this is what I'm going to be able to do. You're not just wishing, you're not just saying, oh, I wish I was earning better money, I wish I had a lot of money. You're looking at what exactly can I do to be able to monetize it, to be able to earn. So for example, you can decide I'm going to acquire computer skills. You're just specific. You didn't say I want to acquire skills. You didn't say I want to be skillful. You just said I will acquire computer skills. That is one specific thing that you're working towards. And you can even decide to funnel it down because of course, as you know, there are lots of skills when it comes to computer knowledge. Okay? So it's just about being specific. What is it exactly that you want? Now, the second thing is measurable. That's what M stands for. So that means that that skill that you want to gain, that goal that you're setting, you're actually putting up some means of measuring how you are attaining that goal. So, for instance, someone could say, "Oh, I want to be able to." Maybe someone that's selling something, and the person is saying, "Oh, I want to be able to make some good income from this thing." Person can say, "I want to sell 35 bags of water in 1 week." That's just an example. Person knows if I can call this a name, it's a goal I'm working towards. I want to be able to sell 35. It's the person's sales target. It's the person's sales goal that he's working towards. Okay, so let's still use the previous example that we used, the computer skills example. For someone that wants to measure, the person could be able to say, I want to acquire two high in demand computer skills, right? Of course, the person will have to maybe mention it further as I mentioned, because computer skills are many. Mention what exactly is that computer skill, but you're measuring it. You know, I have one specific computer skills, right? So these are the top two. Now let's look at achievable. Achievable means that you're actually looking at, is this thing something that is within your control? That goal that you're setting at that point in time, is this something that is within your control? Is this something that is achievable? Okay, so you would see somebody that the person's goal is to end world hunger. And why that's a very beautiful goal? Is it really achievable? Can you on your own, can one person end world hunger? Okay, or someone wants to wipe away all terrorism in the whole wide world. Is that really, 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 really achievable by one person? Okay, so these are things that you look at. Is that goal within your control? Can it be done within the time frame that you set it? Right? Don't just say, "Oh, I want to be able to gain mobile development skills within 2 hours." Really, really, is it achievable? Okay, can you get it done with the resources that you have? Is this something you can achieve with those resources that you have? That's what you. So as you're setting goals, you're checking, what do I have? How much time am I putting to this? Is it time that is tangible enough? Is it time that is enough for achieving that goal? Okay, so these are questions that you have to ask yourself as you're setting goals. Another one is realistic. That's what R stands for. So here you are determining that you have the skills and personalities to attain that goal that you're setting. So someone can decide, oh, I'm going to learn how to develop mobile apps. I'm going to go through this fellowship for 3 months and learn it. And then realistically, that person does not have enough time to go through this fellowship. Maybe the person has a full-time job, is stuck in traffic all day, and probably may not be able to commit to the demands of this fellowship. So you're checking, is there something you can adjust? Is it really realistic that you go through this particular route to attain what you want to attain? Someone could decide, oh, I'm going to be able to, I want to read 2 books within 2 days. Is it really realistic considering your other engagements? So these are things that you will check, because many times many people set goals that are not specific enough. They just say, I want to be rich. Oh, they're not realistic. I want to end world hunger. I want, it's not about wishes. Goals are not wishes. They are tangible things that you work towards. And one of the ways to actually make goals um achievable is to set a time frame to it. That is what time bound stands for. So when you set a time frame to a goal, it means that you're giving it a specified deadline, a date to when that goal must be achieved. So you're just saying, I want to be able to gain computer skills, and you're not stopping there. You're saying, I want to be able to gain computer skills by the end of 2020. Because many times people just say things, and what differentiates it from wishes is when they're able to set a time frame to you, when they put a deadline to when to that thing they're working towards. And so, if you remember the example I gave about the secondary school student that wants to leave secondary school at the end of 6 years, he's working towards 6 years. Imagine if he did not have that timeline to work towards. Of course, he could stay there for life. Okay, so the thing is, throughout life, there will be many goals that you need to set. And you will need to use all of these principles. You will need to make it specific. You will need to make sure that you have a means of measuring it. You will need to make sure that within you know is achievable and is realistic for your resources, for your personality, for your time frame. And of course, you will need to put a time um frame to it, so when you can achieve that goal. Okay. All right. So there are guidelines for setting SMART goals. Okay, you will need to identify the area that you want to write that goal in, because there are different goals that you may be able to set at different points in life. You may set academic goals. I want to be able to graduate with 2-1. I want to be able to graduate with first class. Or you can set personal goals. I want to increase my understanding of this subject matter. Or you can set, people set as much as financial goals. I want to increase my earning from 250,000 naira to 500,000 naira within the next 1 year. So you need to be specific. What area are you writing that goal for? Because sometimes people just say, I want to be rich. And there are lots of things that are influencing a certain outcome that they are wishing for. So when you work towards goals, you identify that area that you want to um, work towards, then it helps you. And it's important that you write down the goal. When you write down the goal, it helps for that goal to stick. Okay, it's something that you're working towards. But let's go on. Importantly, you will need to evaluate past and present achievements. Because when you evaluate what you've done in the past, you cannot be able to consider to what extent is this goal realistic? To what extent is this goal action oriented? What do I mean by realistic and action oriented? So, lots of times people actually just set goals and they don't pass it through that guideline. They're not checking, is this something that with my time frame, I've tried something like this before. I've tried to read one book in 2 days. I couldn't even finish it. So why am I setting a deadline to read two books within 2 days? Still based on those same conditions. Okay. So when you evaluate your past and present achievements, it can help you to know, is this thing I'm working towards going to be easily achievable by me right now? Then it's important that you state what you want to accomplish. So this is the point where I said, write it down, state it. What do you want to accomplish? Oh, I want to be able to gain skills in this area so that I can monetize it, so I can earn, so that I can get a job at this place. State it, because when you are very clear, when you are very specific, that it helps you to understand, okay, this is what I'm working towards. And then when you've stated that, that's not where you end. You actually have to measure it. So the very next thing is to describe how you want to measure the goal. How are you going to know that you've achieved this goal? So you can decide that you're going to be setting certain timelines. You could say, okay, I want to learn how to um, do something. And then there are different topics, different things that you would have to use and measure. And okay, I can do this, I can do that before you actually finish learning the entire thing that you are learning. So there are different goals that you would set that would have different ways of measuring how you are progressing on achieving that goal. But the thing is, just like I said, when you're actually setting the long term goals. You don't just wait till that time to now say, okay, I said I'll be president in 2025, and then 2025 you're waiting for that to happen. You're actually going to have to measure it year after year before that time reaches. Okay, then it's also important that I include a specific completion date. We've already uh, overemphasized this before now already. And the next thing is to involve a support system. Now, this part is very important. This means that you have people that you surround yourself with to make it work. This could be in form of your family or friends, or you could actually meet up with new people, and then you all hold yourselves accountable towards achieving the same goals. So when you have a support system, it means that these people are like your accountability partners. They actually hold you accountable to make sure that you're working towards that goal. So in case you miss a step along the way, they're there to provide support to remind you on why you should stay true to that goal that you set. Then, importantly, make an action plan. Don't just set a goal. Don't just make it set a goal with those smart guidelines, and you don't actually have a plan towards fulfilling that goal. When you have a goal that you're working towards, then there needs to be a plan towards fulfilling that goal. You could break that plan into weekly plans, the things that you'd do week by week till that time to achieve that goal, or daily plans. It all depends. So you need to have an action plan and you need to actually work on that action plan, because of course setting that goal does not get the goal fulfilled. It's actually when you work on that goal that you're able to fulfill it. Okay, so there are also instances when goals that you set fail, and we're going to be looking at why goals fail. Number one is that goal was not written down. Previously, I mentioned that it's important that you write down your goal. When you write down something psychologically, your brain is committing to that thing that you're putting down on paper. When you write it down, it's also something that you can revisit later on and actually look into what you wrote down. You can actually decide to hang it somewhere in your room, and every morning you can wake up and look at, oh, this is one goal that you're working towards. Writing down goal helps you a lot towards achieving it, so that it's not just up on your head. You actually see that you've written this down and it helps you to commit to it. Another reason why goals fail is that it's not believable, it's not realistic, it's not achievable. So let's say you decide that you want to end world hunger all by yourself. How are you going to do that? There's no action plan. There's no there's no how to towards achieving that goal. Those kind of goals will not be able to inspire commitment. If I mean, there's the part about certain goals that are very big, but there's also the part about certain goals that you don't even know how to achieve it. You've not done your research on the action plan that you need to put into work into achieving those goals. When you just make wishes and call them goals, you're not going to be able to achieve them because you set it in such an unbelievable way that it doesn't inspire commitment. You don't even have anything that you're working towards. So, as much as you're setting big goals, goals that should keep you thinking about how to achieve them, also make sure that it's not a goal that is so broad, so misunderstood and unbelievable that you don't even commit to fulfilling it. Then another reason why goals fail is you keep changing goals. So you started learning how to create designs, right? Yeah, into the graphics design track, and then your friend tells you, "Oh, I'm making money with WordPress." You change and say, "Okay, it's like this graphic design is not what I should be learning." You go into WordPress. Another one tells you, "I make a lot of money with mobile development." You switch to mobile development. Like you keep changing goals per time that you are not actually achieving anything. So you need to stay committed to the goal that is set. It's also important that I mentioned that there may be instances when goals don't fail. So when goals fail, actually, when those goals fail, you need to pay attention to it why it failed. Okay, but then make sure that you stay true to every goal. Make sure you stay to the deadline, to the timeline that you put to every goal before you actually change it. You can change your approach towards fulfilling those goals, but don't really keep changing the actual goals because there's an external influence that seems to in, convince you that the one that you set for yourself is not good enough. Stick to your goal. It's when you stick to your goal, when you commit to it, when you actually work on your action plan, that you can begin to progress on that goal. Another reason why goals fail is having too many goals. You want to do so much in one day, you want to do everything in 1 year. When there are too many, it's just discouraging for you because you don't even know what you're focusing on part time. So have goals, and that is why it's important that you actually make sure that it's achievable. Have goals that you can be able to achieve within that time frame. Don't have too many at once. It can make you not even be able to start on any of them at all. Another reason why goals fail is inactivity. So you just set your goals, write it on paper. It's so fine and fanciful. There's an action plan, but day in day out, you don't work on it. You don't follow through on your action plan. You're not doing anything towards fulfilling your goals. Then it's not going to happen because writing it down is not where the magic happens. It's when you're actually working on your action plan, working towards achieving your goals. Then, when you don't review your goals again, they are very likely to fail. So, as you are working on your goals daily, weekly, you should have a means where you are evaluating those goals that you're working on, where you're checking, am I getting close to what I'm working on? So, let's say you set a goal and there's a 3 months deadline towards achieving that goal. You set weekly plans, daily plans. You need to understand that every week you can decide to review, what have I done this week towards reaching my goals? Did I put in my best? Did I put in all my best and still it doesn't look like I'm getting close there. It can help you to review your methods. So, for instance, let's say someone has been trying to learn how to code all by themselves and they have a 3 month deadline. They're learning with YouTube and all of that. Maybe within the first 1 month, they can review and check, okay, I've been trying all of this by myself. I don't still seem to understand what I'm doing. When they review it, they could now think of adjusting their approach towards learning how to code. They could decide, okay, am I going to join a fellowship? Am I going to pay someone to actually teach me this? So for every goal that you set, you will need to review your goal. Check, am I getting close to it? Do you need to adjust your methods towards reaching that goal? It's when you review goals that you can be able to better meet the timeline, the deadline that you set for achieving that goal. Right, so if you have any questions at this point, please go ahead and drop it on Slack. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section. But importantly, this is what you need to do. You need to develop a SMART goal for yourself. You will need to set a goal. You know what you want to achieve for yourself. In the next 3 months, 6 months, develop a goal. Develop action steps towards achieving those goals. And just in case maybe you don't want us to know your goal, you can just use this SMART principle and develop a mock goal and share it on Slack. Make sure that you do this so that we can know that you've understood all about this session. And then there's this post test that you have to take, and I believe that you took the pre-test before you began the session. So right now, go ahead and take this post test. Now that you finished the session, take a pause right now. You can pause this video right now and take this test right here. As I mentioned, it's still the same questions, and no, you don't have to Google the answers. We just need to understand that you took out some lessons from this session. Okay, so these are some quotes from Albert Einstein, and I need you to reflect on it. Importantly, you need to aim for something. You will hit it every time if you aim for something. But if you aim for nothing, you will still hit it every time. So, working on a goal is very important for every part of your life, and that is one thing that I need you to keep going. So, have you enjoyed this session? Drop a comment in the comment box, drop it on Slack, share it, let us know how you enjoyed this session, and watch out for the next training, the next soft skills training coming up.